In this video, I'm gonna show you 3 sales prospecting secrets you can use to start generating more meetings and close more deals. And you wanna make sure you watch this video until the end, because if you are missing just one of these secrets, it's gonna mean the difference between a sales hero and a sales zero. What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick Dan here. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, the first strategy and secret I have for you is that you're gonna want to keep your pipeline full. Although this sounds very obvious, it's actually a common pitfall I see so many people fall into. Here's usually what happens for most salespeople, right? Especially if you are someone who has to generate your own leads and you have to close deals. So if you're generating leads, whether it's cold call, LinkedIn, email, whatever it is, you're doing the work, you're generating meetings, you're booking meetings, and then what's gonna happen, let's say you do it for 30 days, is that you're gonna be so busy doing demonstrations, following up, negotiating, and actually closing, right? And what most salespeople fall into the trap of is they say, oh man, I'm so busy, trying to close deals, doing meetings, I don't have time to prospect. And so they just focus on closing, and maybe they do, maybe they don't, depends on the situation. And then after a month or two of just focusing on closing, maybe they close 1 or 2 deals. From there, they're gonna be like, oh wait, I don't have any more deals in the pipeline. So I did pretty well in this month, but the next month I got nothing. I got to start over from scratch again, right? And then they go a month or 2 without selling anything. And then they go into the cycle of, I got sales, I got no sales. I got sales, I got no sales, right? And so the challenge here is that, a lot of people have trouble finding time to generate leads and actually doing the work of closing. And so one of the secrets I have for you is to always keep your pipeline full. So look, if your job is to generate meetings and close deals, you have to understand that no matter how busy you are with the actual process of, getting on the phone and closing people and negotiating and things like that, you will always have to be prospecting, right? Because this is generally how it works. When you do any type of prospecting for, let's say, 30 days, the work you do for those 30 days is going to extend to the next month, because those leads become qualified meetings, and it's also going to extend to the next month, right? So doing prospecting for, let's say, 30 days might be good for another 60 days, might be good for another 90 days, right? And if you stop sales prospecting after those 90 days or 60 days, you got nothing. So you always have to keep prospecting so you constantly get your pipeline full with new opportunities, right? Because the more opportunities you have, the more abundance you have, and you don't act desperate for your prospects. You don't be like, oh, please, I hope they buy something. It's more like you have so many people to work with that if they don't buy, who cares? Move it to the next person. And so how you want to fix this, if you do have this problem, is that you always want to dedicate a specific time for sales prospecting. Usually the best hours I find is that you want to do it in the morning and then late afternoon, right? And I would actually prioritize the morning, because that's where people, from my experience, are more likely to pick up the phone, respond to cold emails and things like that. So I would dedicate a certain amount of hours prospecting in the morning every single work day. Save all your meetings and things like that for a different time slot, but you want to make sure you keep the time slot where you're always prospecting every single day, and you don't let anything distract you, no matter how busy you get. That's just what you have to do in order to keep your pipeline full. Now, the next secret I have for you is you're gonna want to counter your paralysis with momentum. Now, the problem I see a lot of beginner salespeople have, to be frank, is that they get paralyzed by fear, right? When they have to make that cold call or they have to send that cold email, they just can't push themselves to actually do it. And back when I worked at Oracle, what I saw on the sales floor was that, when we were doing prospecting and everyone on the floor is supposed to be doing some kind of activity, I would see people come into work late, maybe they're 10, 20 minutes late, and then they're eating a lunch at their desk. And then they go, oh, everyone's supposed to be cold calling, but I'm gonna go ahead and get a cup of coffee. And then, oh, I see my friends at the kitchen. Hey, what's going on? Have a conversation. And then they, talk for about 10 minutes about how hard this job is. And they go back to their cubicle and they're just like, okay, well, let me go ahead and review my script before I make a phone call. And then next thing you know, like an hour has passed since they got into work and they haven't made any calls yet. And a lot of people, I noticed, fall into that trap where, sales is kind of scary for some people. It's kind of painful because you have to deal with a lot of rejection. And because of that, a lot of times we may paralyze ourselves in this fear. And we do all these things that distract us, and we procrastinate, and we do everything except actually making that phone call or actually doing any type of sales prospecting, right? And I understand, I empathize, I've been there, it's scary. But what I was able to do for myself to solve this problem, and what I helped other people do, is you want to just build that momentum. You just want to take one step forward, right? Because human beings are a creature of momentum. When we get rolling, things get a lot easier over time. So if you're having trouble and you're not doing sales prospecting as much as you want to, well, I would recommend just setting a specific time where you're gonna say, okay, 8 a.m., no matter what, without fail, I have to make one phone call. I just gotta make one phone call, okay? 8 a.m., I can't come to work late. I can't, mess around and get a cup of coffee during work. If I wanna do that stuff, I gotta do it before 8 a.m. But 8 a.m., I'm gonna be at my desk and I'm going to make that one phone call. And what happens is that when you do that and you make that phone call, you realize, oh, that wasn't so bad. Right? Especially if the person didn't even pick up the phone. A lot of times we're so afraid to even make that phone call and the other person doesn't even pick up the phone, right? So just make that phone call, whatever it is. Probably won't be that good because it's the first one, you're warming up, okay. And then once you make that first step, you dial another number and then you make another phone call. Then you dial another number and you make another phone call, right? And you just build that momentum over and over. And eventually, you're gonna get to 20, 30, 50, whatever the number is and whatever's normal in your, specific sale. But that's essentially what you wanna do to build that momentum. And even if you're doing, let's say, social selling on LinkedIn, or if you are sending cold emails, let's say cold email, for example, it's building a list and sending out the cold email. So write your email, and then set a specific time saying, this is the day and time I am going to send my cold email to this customer. And just schedule it and send it, and then off away you go. There's no need to be afraid. Nobody cares. If you send a bad email, nobody cares. They're just gonna ignore it, whatever. They might say something mean, who cares? You just move on, get the learning lessons to see what works and what doesn't, and you just keep moving on. But the most important thing, especially when you're starting out, is just build that momentum, because that momentum will snowball, and then you'll find that, it's not as hard as you think. You just have to get started. Now, the third tip that we're gonna have for you is you're gonna want to focus on sales. Now, if your job is to generate meetings and close deals in some capacity, you're getting paid as a professional seller. You're not getting paid to, update your CRM. You're not getting paid to have unnecessary meetings and chill with your friends and talk in the kitchen and get a cup of coffee. You're getting paid to sell. So if you're getting paid to sell, well, what should you be focusing your time on? Selling. Now, I know this sounds super obvious. I totally understand. But I find that the difference between people who are really great at sales and people who are just, kind of okay getting by is that they're just not focused on the right thing. And especially for sales, there's a lot of administrative work that comes with sales, especially if you're doing sales prospecting. There's updating your CRM, building a list, having meetings with your manager, and doing some paperwork that somebody passes to you, right? I've been there. There's so much unnecessary paperwork. And some of it is actually necessary and you have to do it, but you have to understand that your job is to sell. So like I said before, when you time block, when you dedicate specific periods of time during your day and on your calendar to do sales activities, that's what you need to focus on. And no matter what happens, somebody asks you for something, your manager says, hey, I need you to do this. You basically say, no, I need to do sales prospecting. I was paid to do this. I'm a professional. I need to do this job so I can generate meetings for you guys. And if you want to have a meeting with me, here are some times outside of my prospecting hours where we can actually have that meeting. Because at the end of the day, you're not being rude. You're not telling people that you're not gonna have those meetings and do those things. You're just saying, I gotta focus on selling during these hours. If you wanna talk to me and do these other things that don't really contribute to selling, well, do it on these hours, right? And you wanna save your best hours for your time doing sales prospecting. And not only that, but a lot of times when we're doing sales prospecting, sometimes the day just disappears just like that and we don't really reach out to as many people as we want, right? It's really time management and prioritization. So I remember I was coaching somebody, and over the course of a month, this person, I'm coaching, I'm telling him what to do and all these things, and over like 3 weeks, he maybe sent 300 cold emails. Now, although that may sound like a lot, it's actually really not over the course of, let's say, 3 weeks, right? Because in general, you gotta be sending, dozens of emails, maybe like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 emails per day. And this person was only sending 300 over the course of 3 weeks. That's only 100 a week, and that's just like 20 a day. And that's not enough, and that doesn't even include the follow-ups and everything like that. So obviously, if you're sending 300 emails and you're getting a couple responses, but not too many meetings, you're just not sending enough to get enough data to understand what works and what doesn't, right? So if you don't get that velocity, you don't reach out to enough people, whether it's cold email or cold calling, whatever it is, you're not gonna generate the meetings because it's the math, right? Because if, let's say you send 100 emails and only 5 people take a meeting with you, that's 5 out of 100. Okay, that's actually pretty good. But if you're not sending enough outreach and you're not reaching out enough, then that number of meetings will not grow. I mean, if you're not doing the cold emails, you're not doing the cold calling, you're not gonna get those meetings. So you gotta prioritize sales activities. Forget everything else. Stop spending so much time going over a script. Stop, obsessing over a cold email, being afraid like, oh my God, I don't know if this person will respond. Just do it, just send it. And if people don't respond, that's okay. Because when they don't respond, you understand, okay, this wasn't that great, what can I change? But if you just, paralyze yourself and you're just like, I don't know if it's gonna work, so let me just review it over and over and over until it's perfect. That is basically like, using perfectionism as an excuse to not actually do the work. And that's just the truth. So whatever it is you're doing in sales, focus on selling. Prioritize selling activity. Everything that's holding you back from selling, let it go. Spend, the last hours of your day doing that, and spend your best hours doing sales activity and ignore everything else. And if you do that, you're gonna find that you're gonna have a lot more time to do the selling activity, you're gonna have time to do all the administrative work, and you're actually gonna get results. But if you don't follow these lessons, it's gonna be difficult for you to focus and actually just do your job. And so those are gonna be my 3 secrets when it comes to sales prospecting. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you wanna learn more about sales prospecting, how to get a meeting with anyone, and really start and accelerate your sales career, I got a free training link in the description, so make sure to check that out. With that said, my name is Patrick Dang, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.